Hey everybody, Barry here again. This is a continuation of the last video. It's the same night and I'm going for as long as I can. I'm gonna get some of the nitpicky, dumb stuff done that I need to finish up before I can get this thing moving. That includes bolting the drive shaft, tighten up the whole front end because everything I have pretty much laid in place now because I was taking the engine out, taking the cradle out, putting it back in, and I didn't want to gun everything tight and have to undo it all again. So yeah, basically finalizing stuff. I have to come up with some sort of a shifter, just basically quickly, I think, because I have to make a bracket for the automatic to the van shifter, and in order to do that, it's got to go on the ramp, which at the moment it can't. So I'll do something, just something to hold it in place, and I can pull a rod back and forth. Just something dumb. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start at the drive shaft first. That's something that's I've been kind of putting off. I gotta jack up the back of it, put some jack stands in under it, getting under, bolt everything in, and then hopefully that'll be the last of it until I can get on the ramp and redo my panhard rod. Or if I've got enough room around the back here, I might do that, but doesn't seem like it. But anyway, let's get some more stuff done. I want to have this thing moving like ASAP. If I can put the drive shaft in, get it running, pull it back in drive just to see if it'll move. If I can get it to move from there to there and back up back to there, I'll be super happy. It'll be something. At least I'll know it moves. At least I'll know that my wiring is okay. I've had it going several times now and there's no transmission codes at all, but I don't know if it has to be run through each specific gear before it'll set a code, but I guess we'll find out. Let's get it done. Well, the drive shaft is all bolted in. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's kind of a dark spot, pretty tight. But I kind of want to see if it'll spin the wheels. I thought about it. It's on jack stands right now. The wheels are elevated. It can't move, so that means it can't slam into the bench. Good time. Good time to try it out. We're 6 inches off the ground. Jack stands are under it. I got a pair of vice grips nipped onto the shifter shaft just to see if it'll move. So I'm gonna set up the tripod, put you on real time, and just hope it works. Hopefully, I'll try to move it reverse first because that's the first thing after drive, I guess, and then or after park, and then I'll go back through neutral, let it come to a stop, go back in drive. I'd imagine that all the fluid hasn't gone completely through the transmission yet because it's only been in park. Nothing there is moving to pump transmission fluid through the clutches, through anything. So I'm not going to get the wheel speed up very high, assuming it works, but just cycle it back through a couple of the gears, like, well, at least reverse and drive, because that's as far as I can get it. I'm nervous, really nervous. We're all in this together, I guess. Alrighty, I'm going to turn the fan on, get it running, give it a couple seconds, and then see what happens. I thought I had something seriously broke. It would not start. It would not crank. There was no fuel pump, there was no wideband, there was no PCM, nothing. Till I realized that I took this little fuse out here to check power for to possibly run this front fan. I forgot to put it back in. Apparently that one little 10 amp fuse rendered this thing useless. So I really got to pay attention to that. But I just turned the key to on, wideband works, fuel pump works, I can hear relays clicking. So attempt number 2, I guess. Well, let's try it again. It's a start. I'm going to try the sloppy transbrake now to see if it's going to command third gear. I was going to try it a minute ago, but I forgot to put the PID in for transmission current gear. Sorry if I'm yelling, I can't really hear anything. But current gear is right here, I'll keep it highlighted. I'm going to go put it in drive now with my vice grips. Current gear is 1. Still 1. Well, it doesn't look like it's working. I'll have to figure out the wiring. So I'm not sure if I have something hooked up incorrectly. I may have read the diagram wrong. But 86 is supposed to be switched to 12 volts. So my 86 wire right here, I have it clipped on with an alligator clip. And if I touch positive, relay works. So I'm going to run a log. Oh, power seats are going. When you're doing stuff you don't know, sometimes you can mess up. All right, so we're connected. Trans current gear is 2. I'm just gonna record it and come back and look. All right, so let's hold this on positive for a second. Oops. Relay clicks. Should be long enough. All right, let's leave that. And now we'll check our log. I don't know if it has to be running or not, but doesn't seem like it commanded third gear at all. So I'll check again. Next thing I gotta check is my ground. So I've got my lead clipped onto this alligator clip. The 85 and 87 pins are right here. I've got it set up on beep on continuity. And here's my ground down here. So I have a good ground. I do have one last guess which wouldn't be a big deal because I could just switch pins on the PCM. But I think I may have my B solenoid to red 47 backwards on the relay. I didn't think it was a big deal, but I almost do remember in the video that I had them switched. So what this does is pin B on the transmission comes up here, is normally connected to red 47. That would be first gear, second gear, third gear, normally do whatever it does. Pin B is third gear. When third gear is grounded, say over here, it'll command third gear. But if I have pin 30 down on this pin here, sorry, the B pin on this one down here, then it's just going to switch away from it and never actually make the connection to pin B. So I'm going to check continuity from pin 30 to my pin B wire, or check continuity from 87A to red 47. I think that would be the easiest way. 87A to red 47. If there's no continuity between those two, then I know for a fact that I have it backwards, and I'll just switch my two pins. And actually, I think I can do it easier than that. I think if I took my 30, down here, 30 and 87A, which I think are these two. 87A is the middle, which will be the peach colored wire right here. 30 is the back one, which will be red. So if I switched my red and my peach wires on this bus bar, it should be the same as me switching the pins to the wiring, because that's where they actually connect, and that might make sense. I'm definitely not a wiring genius. Like, you know, take what I say for granted. I'm trying as I go, and I'm doing it in real time because, hey, that's what I do. I don't want to magically have it all fixed and not explain it to anybody. Fingers crossed again. Let's try it. So in theory, assuming this is working, I should be able to turn the key on, push the switch, and the relay should click. Let's try it. Oh, hey, the key's already on. Let's turn it back off. Okay, switch. I don't know if you can hear it clicking or not, but it is clicking. At the very least, I know the relay works. It's something. Let's see. Will it record? Key is on. Record is on. All right, let's look at this wire. Oh, it's still not commanding third gear. Be nice. Just to be 100% sure, I'm going to get it running and see if it's actually not commanding third gear, or if it just won't do it while it's shut off. Another installment on my dumb trying to wire things. I don't know if you saw the video where I actually made this setup, but yeah, the relay came apart on me. I don't know if that's the issue so far, but it might be. So I just checked, and in order to complete the circuit, pin 30 needs to go over and click to ground. That will turn on the 2-3 shift solenoid to turn into third gear. And when that's activated, you can actually hear it. So here we have pin 30. Down here with the two wires is 85, 87. So let's see if we can hear. Now I have the ignition turned on, so you'll hear the alternator humming. Can you hear it? Also, you should be able to see it sparking there. So that should mean that it's commanding third gear. I'm going to turn on a log just to see if it actually is. That would be phenomenal. If it's just a relay broken and I can plug a new one in and make it work, it'd be sick. But let's try it. All right, the key is on. It might trip a code for some sort of shift solenoid issue because I have the relay disconnected, which normally holds the 2-3 shift solenoid, say, open so it can command first, second, third, fourth, whatever gear. But right now it's commanding second, or it's in second, I guess, whatever gear it wants to be in. So I'm going to jump these connectors and you tell me what happens. Huh. It's funny how it doesn't say anything, but I can hear it. Weird. I apologize if this is getting super confusing, but I'm just trying to work my way through it. And I guess you guys are trying to help me through it too. Help me, yeah. If you have any suggestions on how to fix this, if I don't have it done by the end of the video, please let me know. That would be wonderful if I could have some help here, because I am not a professional when it comes to wiring. I have another thought. Pin 47 red, which I have back probed with a piece of welding wire, should be hooked up to 87A, which is the peach wire, and it is not. It's actually hooked up to pin 30, which, if we see here, pin 30 should be hooked up to the B solenoid. 87A should be connected to red 47. Red 47 right now is connected to 30, so that's going to switch everything. So I am going to have to switch that back. I switched it back again, but so this one, this pin 30 switches with 87A, which is the peach wire. Move that one behind here. Back to its location. So this should now be done correctly. And if I take my now pin 30 and hook it to the ground, it should work. There's a lot of shoulds tonight. So let's see. Pin 30 to the ground. Still nothing. I'm gonna try one last time. And if it doesn't work, I'll have to sleep on it. Everything seems right, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Just as a last resort, I did switch out that 5-pin relay that I said was broken. You can see here the terminals are kind of dark. I don't really like the way they look. So I took the fuel pump relay, which was a 5-pin relay, switched it, put it over here for the transbrake, and put a regular 4-pin in for the fuel pump, which would be better off anyway. So last chance. If not, I'm going home and going to sleep. Let's try it on a laptop without the van running first, just to see. So it sounds like the relay is working. Let's try this. All right, not commanding third gear. Let's try with it running. All right, I'm in drive. Nothing. Well, that's a super bummer. I'll figure it out. Last resort. I just pulled this out because it was hanging like that. I wonder if it maybe didn't crimp. Worth a shot. Again. Well, I have the ground re-crimped and connected again. I'm going to try it again. And for anybody who's wondering, no, I actually don't know how to give up. I don't know when to give up. I never have. Well, that's dumb. Well, I don't want to sound like a complete idiot, but I just messaged Ryan Blazer from A21 Bravo, who's really, really good at this stuff. Here's his video that I've been referencing for the last little bit. And he said that with a stock PCM, the 0411 won't show that it's in third gear. For whatever reason, I don't know. So this whole time I've been chasing a problem that may not have been a problem at all. I'm going to jump in and try it. He said to engage the button, see if the wheels turn. It shouldn't have enough power to actually turn the wheels in third gear at idle. And then let off the button, see if the wheels turn. It's worth a shot. It'll make me feel a lot better if it's actually working. All right, I have you set up here so you can see the wheels, see me, and I'll let you know when the button is pressed. Okay, first gear. Well, I'm done with it for tonight. I tried. I don't know if I succeeded or failed. I have no idea. But one massive win is the tires turn forward and backwards. It's something. I don't know if the transmission slips. I don't know if it's going to shift gears or not. But it does move. That's something. So I am going to go ahead and eat my jalapeno poppers and homemade pizza that Cass made. These are seriously the hottest things that I've tasted in my life. They're jalapenos with the center left in, filled full of cream cheese, wrapped up in bacon and fried in the oven, or baked in the oven. They're wonderful. So I'm gonna go eat this before I pass out. And then I'm gonna get this thing on the ground, top up the transmission fluid, because I would assume that it's probably down a quart or two. I wasn't pushing this thing, I wasn't flooring it, anything like that. But I I want to make sure the transmission fluid is at the correct level before I actually take it out on the road, obviously. So I'm gonna go eat and then we'll finish it up. Okay, I got like 1.5 jalapeno poppers left and I cannot finish them. They're super hot. My face is on fire. Okay, I'm gonna pull this thing down off the jack, get it running. I think it's gotta be in park, and then I'll check transmission fluid. Hopefully it's like 2 quarts low, and that'll be a reason that it's kind of sluggish down low, but well, it's never been used since I got it set up, so we'll find it in a sec. Well, the transmission fluid is fine. It might be over about this much, but I kind of want to see if it'll move. So I've got a little tire chuck set up here. So if it moves that much, it's going to bring up anyway. So I'm going to try it, and maybe I'll try a sloppy button just to see if it'll push the RPMs up a little bit higher, and then I'll know if this thing works or not. I'm not going to push it because obviously I don't want to slam into anything here, beat that up, beat up this place, but I'm still kind of curious. Oh, the headers are baking off. They definitely got warm. Well, I don't think I'm over it yet, but I don't actually think the transmission is feeling okay. I'll show you on the log. So here we have 24% throttle, 45 kPa, 4,000 RPM. That's not good. It's not a real good sign. I checked the fluid before I tried this just to be sure. Fluid's fine. It's up. That ain't very good. Not at all. 4,000 RPM should not be obtainable by quarter throttle, especially at such a low kPa. That means there's basically no load on the engine. That's like idle. That's right at the peak of this 47. Let's go 47 kPa is the highest. I think it idles around there. Yeah, okay, it idles at like 40. So we gained 7 kPa at 4,000 RPM. That sounds like slippage to me. and I tried it with the button on. That was no button. It should, with the brake on, it should hold probably 2,400 RPM before it actually pushes through the brakes. This ain't that. Not at all. This is where I did the first test with the button off, 3,900 RPM, 45 kPa. The second test didn't actually get as high in the RPM. I probably just didn't push it as far. But still, 42, 43 kPa, 21% throttle. So I may be on the lookout for a 4L80. That sucks. I'm not a big fan of that at all. The more I mess with this, the more I want to get the rat rod back on the go. Because all that ever did was blow up engines. And then, like, if that was a Thursday and I blew up a rat rod engine, I could have another one in and do pulls like Saturday evening. And it never gave me an issue besides that. It might be because it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm hopped up on caffeine, but I am absolutely defeated right now. I won't allow myself to be defeated, but sometimes you get a little bit discouraged. But I'm pretty much all done for tonight. I've done what I can. Transmission seems like it's slipping. I've been talking to Ryan Blazer now for like 3 hours or something. I'm not sure what time it is where you are, but it's 4 a.m. here. So whatever time it is, it's way too late to be up trying to help me diagnose this junk. But I do appreciate it, like, more than you'd know. So I got a couple more things I'm going to try. He told me to unplug the main transmission connector. It'll force second gear with full line pressure, and then it'll see if it's still slipping or not. I'm going to see if I can come across a pressure gauge that reads high enough so I can check and see if the line pressure or the actual transmission pump pressure is adequate or not. But as of right now, I think the transmission may be not very good. I did a lot of modifications to it to make it hopefully better, but the clutches that I took out of it were okay at best. And the fluid that I took out of it was also like okay at best. Plus, it's two different transmissions, a two-wheel drive, a four-wheel drive. I jammed them together. I watched videos on it. I had an idea what I was doing. This was not a professional build. So sometimes that stuff comes back to bite you, sometimes it works. I'm still going to continue on as if everything were normal because I just want to get it up on the road and see what it does. I had it up on the jack stands. The tires would start moving on their own. I had to get up to about 2,000 RPM and then it seemed like the transmission was working. I got 50 kilometers an hour out of it at 1,900 or something like that, so which still seems like a lot of slippage. But I guess there's still a chance that I get it on the road and it could work fine. I kind of doubt it, but got to keep some sort of glimmer of hope. But if anybody around central Newfoundland or area knows of a 4L80 that is known good, that's not going to break me, I'd appreciate it if you'd let me know. That'd be wonderful, because I would pull this out just probably, I don't even know if I'd pull it apart. I think I would just put it in as it is. Maybe do mods, maybe not. I've done the mods. So far it doesn't work. But I don't think that's necessarily anybody's fault but mine because I didn't put new parts in it. But anyway, I am blabbering on again. I'm going to go home and go to bed. And we'll pick it up on the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, and thanks for liking, subscribing to the videos. Thanks for the guys who support my Patreon, and I appreciate it a lot. Have a great night, everybody.